Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Have you ever emptied your pockets, found a random penny, and thought, what if this thing is worth a fortune? Well, grab your magnifying glasses, because today we're talking about one of the most fascinating coins out there, the 1986 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yep, you heard that right. This unassuming little penny is valued at a whopping $1 million on the current market. Let that sink in. A single penny, $1 million. Sounds like a crazy dream, right? Stick around, and I'll tell you why it's worth so much, how to spot one, and, spoiler alert, how a random penny I found nearly gave me a heart attack once. Let's dive in. All right, let's start with the basics. The 1986 Abraham Lincoln penny is your standard issue coin. It's got Honest Abe chilling on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Nothing fancy at first glance. But here's the kicker. The no-mint mark version is the jackpot. Normally, coins from this era have a mint mark under the date, like a little D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But this special penny? Nada. Zilch. Blank space. And that blank space is worth some serious cash. Now, you're probably wondering, why would a penny with no mint mark be worth $1 million? Great question. The lack of a mint mark indicates it was minted in Philadelphia, but here's the catch. This error wasn't supposed to happen. A small batch of these coins was accidentally struck without the identifying mint mark. Boom. Instant rarity. And in the coin world, rarity equals money. Lots of it.to give you some context. Coins are like fine wine or Pokemon cards. The fewer there are, the higher the value. And collectors? They're like treasure hunters on steroids. A rare find like this is their holy grail. Imagine them at an auction, bidding faster than you can blink. That's why this penny hit the $1 million mark. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was cleaning out an old desk, one of those projects you promised to do and then regret halfway through. Anyway, I found a jar of pennies. Naturally, I decided to look through them, just in case. And there it was, a 1986 penny with no visible mint mark. My heart stopped. I thought I had struck gold. Well, copper, technically. I spent hours researching, only to find out it wasn't the rare one. I'll admit, I cried a little inside. But hey, at least I learned a lot about coins. So, how can you tell if you've got the real deal? First, grab a magnifying glass and check for that missing mint mark. Next, look for signs of wear and tear. The rarer the coin and the better its condition, the higher the value. Oh, and don't forget to get it authenticated by a professional coin grader. It's worth the effort. Trust me if you're thinking, what are the odds of me finding one? Well, I won't lie, they're slim. But hey, someone has to win the lottery, right? And the best part? You don't even need a ticket. Just check your spare change.so. There you have it, the incredible story of the 1986 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Who knew something so small could be worth so much? Now, I don't know about you, but I'm never looking at pennies the same way again. Coins like these aren't just fascinating. They're opportunities. And who knows? That penny in your pocket could be your ticket to financial freedom. Or at least a very nice vacation. If you enjoyed this video, smash that subscribe button and join our growing community of coin enthusiasts. I've got tons of tips and stories coming your way about coins that could make you rich, or at least a lot richer than a penny. Hit the like button if you're ready to start checking your change, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin. You're sorting through your spare change and boom, you spot a penny. A regular, boring, 2020 Abraham Lincoln penny. You're about to toss it into the whatever pile when, hold up, it's got a little D mint mark. You think nothing of it, but what if I told you that little penny could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million? Yes, $1 million. You're not gonna believe the wild story behind this coin, and I'm here to break it all down for you. So grab your jar of coins and stick around because you might just have a fortune hiding in plain sight. All right, let's dive into it. The 2020 D mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny might look like your average penny, but this baby's got a secret. First off, the D stands for the Denver Mint, where this coin was produced. Now, Denver pumps out billions of coins every year. So, what makes this one so special? It's all about errors. Yep, mistakes are money in the coin world. This particular penny has a rare die error that caused some unique imperfections. Imagine the mint workers in Denver just having a rough Monday, and voila, these flawed pennies were born. Coin collectors love this stuff because it's like finding a four-leaf clover in a field of regular grass. Now, here's where it gets fun. A few collectors stumbled upon this coin and realized its rarity. One lucky individual auctioned it off for, you guessed it, $1.1 million. Can you imagine? Someone probably found that in a couch cushion or their car cup holder. Speaking of finding treasure, let me tell you a quick story. A few years back, I found a coin in my grandpa's old coin jar. I thought it was just some rusty penny, but it turned out to be a 1943 steel penny. Nothing close to $1 million, but I sold it for 50 bucks. That's a tank of gas, maybe a fancy dinner, or in my case, a solid chunk of change to add to my coin collecting obsession. Okay, back to the Lincoln penny. Here's what you need to do. First, check your coins. Look for a 2020 penny with the D mint mark. Next, examine it closely, like Sherlock Holmes with a magnifying glass. Look for any oddities, like doubling in the letters or numbers, strange marks, or any imperfections. If you're not sure, you can always take it to a professional coin grader. These folks will certify your coin and tell you if it's the real deal. And let's talk strategy here. Coins like this don't just pop up in circulation every day, but they're out there. Check your change at the grocery store, raid your piggy banks, or even ask grandma if she has any spare pennies lying around. And here's a pro tip: coin roll hunting. Head to the bank, grab a few rolls of pennies, and sort through them. It's like scratching lottery tickets, but with a much better chance of hitting it big. Let me throw in a little humor here. Imagine explaining to your spouse that you're spending hours inspecting pennies. Honey, I'm not crazy. I'm investing. They might roll their eyes, but when you cash in on that $1 million penny, they'll be the first to say, I always believed in you. So there you have it, folks. The 2020 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny isn't just another coin. It's a potential life changer. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone who's just curious about their spare change, this is your reminder to keep an eye out. Who knows? That penny in your pocket might just be worth more than your car, your house, or even your retirement fund. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips, stories, and strategies about coins worth money, hit that subscribe button. Join our community of treasure hunters and start turning your spare change into serious cash. And hey, don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends. You never know, they might have $1 million penny hiding in their junk drawer. You're digging through your couch cushions, or maybe rifling through that jar of pennies on your dresser. You pull out a plain old penny and boom, it's worth $1.2 million. Yes, you heard that right. $1.2 million for a penny. Sounds like a scam, right? Nope, it's real. And today we're talking about the 2019 No Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's taking the coin collecting world by storm. But before we dive in, let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny? Like, really looked at it? Turns out, that tiny copper coin in your pocket could change your life. So, grab a cup of coffee, get comfy, and let's unravel the mystery of this $1 million penny. Spoiler alert. It might even make you rethink every penny you've ever tossed aside. Okay, let's get into it. The 2019 No Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny doesn't look all that special at first glance. It's the kind of coin you'd find under your car seat or at the bottom of your purse. But here's the kicker. This particular penny is super rare. Why? Because it's missing a mint mark. Normally, pennies are stamped with a tiny letter indicating where they were minted, like a P for Philadelphia or a D for Denver. But this bad boy? Nada. Zilch. It's completely blank. Now, coins missing their mint marks are like the rock stars of the coin world. Totally unexpected and insanely valuable. It's like finding a signed Beatles album at a garage sale. These coins weren't supposed to exist, and that makes collectors go absolutely bananas over them. In pristine condition, this penny has a current market value of $1.2 million. $1.2 million. Let me put that into perspective for you. That's enough to buy a Lamborghini, a beach house, or, approximately 120 million gumballs. And to think, it's all for a penny that probably cost less to produce than a single stick of gum. You might be wondering, how does a penny like this even exist? Well, mistakes happen, even at the US Mint. Maybe a machine glitch, maybe human error, or maybe some mint worker decided to spice things up a bit. Whatever the reason, these errors are rare and rarity equals value. Alright, so you're probably itching to check every penny you own now. First, check the date. It has to be 2019. Next, look at the front of the coin near the edge, right below the date. If there's no tiny letter there, you might be onto something. Lastly, condition is everything. The shinier and newer your penny looks, the higher its value. Let me tell you about the time I actually found a rare penny. Not a $1.2 million one, but still worth about $200. I was at the laundromat, waiting for my clothes to dry, and I had a handful of change for the vending machine. One penny caught my eye because it looked different. Turns out, it was a 1955 double-die penny, another rare error coin. I didn't buy that bag of Cheetos, but I walked out $200 richer. Moral of the story? Always check your change. Beyond the money, there's something exciting about the hunt. It's like modern-day treasure hunting, but instead of a pirate map, you've got your spare change. Plus, coins like this remind us that even the smallest, most overlooked things can be incredibly valuable, so the next time you're about to toss a penny into a tip jar or let it roll under your car seat, take a second and check it out. You never know. Your next coin could be worth millions. And hey, if you do find one, remember who told you about it first, alright? Wink. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins worth money, treasure hunting strategies, and how to turn your spare change into a fortune, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Let's keep this money-making journey going together. Alright, let me ask you this. When was the last time you really looked at your spare change? I'm not talking about a quick glance before handing it to the cashier. I mean, really looked. Because what if I told you that tucked away in your pocket or coin jar, there might just be a penny worth $1.3 million? Yeah, you heard that right. Not $1.30, not $13, a whopping $1.3 million. And it's not made of gold, encrusted with diamonds, or anything fancy like that. It's just a regular OL penny from 1978, except it's not so regular after all. In this video, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1978 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Why is it so valuable? What should you be looking for? And could you actually be sitting on a fortune right now? Stick around, because I've got answers, and maybe a few laughs along the way. Let's get to it. First, let's break down what a no-mint mark penny even is. Coins in the US are typically stamped with a letter indicating where they were minted, a D for Denver, an S for San Francisco, and so on. But some pennies, like the elusive 1978 Lincoln penny, don't have a mint mark at all. And that's not because someone forgot their morning coffee before stamping them. It's actually a fascinating error. Back in 1978, the Philadelphia Mint didn't use a mint mark on pennies. So, technically, all pennies minted there that year shouldn't have a mint mark. But here's where it gets juicy. A small batch of 1978 pennies were struck in error using special dies meant for another purpose. This unique mishap is what makes them so incredibly rare and valuable today. Finding one of these pennies is like spotting a unicorn at your local gas station. Experts estimate that only a handful of these pennies exist in pristine condition. Most of them were probably tossed into circulation, lost, or damaged over the years. But if you happen to stumble across one in great shape, you're looking at a payday that could change your life. Fun fact, the last recorded sale of a 1978 no-mint mark penny in near-perfect condition fetched a jaw-dropping $1.3 million at auction. That's the kind of money that makes you rethink every time you've casually tossed pennies into a tip jar, right? Alright, now let's talk details. If you're hoping to find this golden, or rather, copper, ticket, here's what to look for. The obvious one. Check below Lincoln's portrait on the front of the penny, year, 1978. If it's not from 1978, you're out of luck. Condition. Coins in mint state condition are the most valuable. That means no scratches, dents, or discoloration. Basically, it should look like it just rolled off the press yesterday. How do I even start looking for this? My advice? Start with your spare change jar. Dig through your old piggy bank. And if you're anything like me, maybe even check under the couch cushions. One time, I found $7.32 in loose change while cleaning out my car. Granted, none of it was a rare penny, but still, it was enough for a fancy coffee. So, Why is this penny worth so much? Simple. Rarity and demand. Collectors go wild for coins like these because they're a piece of history. Plus, the 1978 Mark penny is a perfect storm of rarity, error, and intrigue. As of today, its market value sits at around $1.3 million for a top-condition example. Even pennies in slightly less pristine condition can fetch thousands of dollars. You walk into a coin shop or an auction with a penny you found in your drawer, and you walk out with $1 million check. That's the kind of story you tell your grandkids. Or maybe you just retire early and move to a beach somewhere. No judgment.so, there you have it, the 1978 Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. It's proof that sometimes, the smallest things in life can be worth the most. Who knew a humble penny could hold so much value? Now, before you go digging through your change jar, let me leave you with this. You'll never know what treasures are hiding right under your nose unless you take the time to look. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins, tips for collecting, and strategies to find hidden treasures, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more stories, tips, and laughs coming your way. And hey, if you do find a 1978 Mark penny, let me know in the comments. I'll be the first to celebrate with you. You're digging through an old jar of pennies, and you stumble upon a little copper coin from 2006 with a tiny D mint mark on it. You think, it's just a penny, right? Wrong. That humble penny could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. Yes, you heard that right. $1.4 million for something most people wouldn't bend down to pick up. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 2006 D. Abraham Lincoln penny, why it's so valuable, and how you might just hit the jackpot with one of these bad boys in your collection. Buckle up, folks. It's going to be a wild ride. All right, let's break this down. First, what's so special about a 2006 D penny? I mean, there are billions of pennies out there. Why would this one stand out? The D mint mark tells us it was made in Denver, Colorado. But here's the kicker. This isn't your average Lincoln penny. A very specific error occurred during its production, and that's what makes it incredibly valuable. This particular coin is known for a die clash error. For those of you not fluent in coin lingo, a die clash happens when the dies, those are the metal stamps used to create the coin's design, hit each other without a blank coin in between. This creates funky, ghost-like impressions on the coin's surface, and collectors absolutely love it. It's like finding a Picasso painting in a thrift store. Except, in this case, it's hiding in plain sight in your pocket change. Now, you might be wondering, how do I know if I have one of these? Great question. Grab a magnifying glass, your favorite beverage, and settle in for some detective work. You're looking for faint, unusual markings on the surface of the coin, things that don't quite belong. It might look like Lincoln's face has a shadow, or there could be extra lines or shapes that aren't part of the normal design. Trust me, finding one is like winning the coin collector's lottery. Let me tell you a quick story. A couple of years ago, I was helping my dad clean out his garage. You know how it goes. Boxes of random stuff that haven't seen daylight since the 90s. We found this old coffee can filled with pennies. I'm not kidding, it weighed a ton. My dad laughed and said, "Hey, maybe there's a rare one in there." I rolled my eyes and thought, yeah, right? But guess what? After a little digging and a lot of squinting, we found a penny with a weird shadowy image on it. It wasn't a 2006 D, unfortunately, but it was still worth about $300. Not bad for a coin that had been sitting in a dusty can for decades. So, back to the 2006 D penny. Why is it worth $1.4 million? The value comes down to rarity and demand. Collectors go nuts for these coins because there are so few of them. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. But when you do, oh boy, it's payday. In 2022, one of these pennies sold for over $1 million at auction. That's life-changing money for something you could find in your couch cushions. The more people hear about coins like this, the more they start digging through their collections. That drives up demand, which can push the price even higher. So, if you're sitting on a collection of old coins, now is the time to start sorting through them. Who knows? You might be sitting on a fortune without even realizing it. So, what's the moral of the story? Don't underestimate the power of pocket change. That little 2006 D penny could be worth more than your car, your house, or even your entire savings account. All it takes is a sharp eye, a little patience, and maybe a touch of luck. And hey, even if you don't find $1 million penny, the thrill of the hunt is pretty fun, right? Before you dive into your stash of coins, let me hit you with one last thing. If you found this video helpful or even just entertaining, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and stories about coins that could make you rich. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Have you ever heard the saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure? Well, today, we're diving deep into a tiny treasure that might just blow your mind. The 1984 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. Yes, you heard me right. One penny, 150 million times its face value. Makes you want to check your pocket change right now, doesn't it? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know why this little coin is so valuable, how to identify it, and most importantly, if you've been sitting on a gold mine this whole time. Alright, so let's start with the basics. First, what's the deal with the 1984 no-mint mark penny? You see, in the world of coin collecting, it's not just about how old a coin is. It's all about the details. This penny might look ordinary at first glance, but it's like the Clark Kent of coins. Underneath its humble appearance lies something truly extraordinary. The key here is the lack of a mint mark. Coins minted in Philadelphia often don't carry a mint mark, but that's not what makes this penny special. This one stands out because of a little something called the double die error. And no, that's not some fancy tech term. It literally means the coin was struck twice during production, causing certain features, like Lincoln's ear or parts of the lettering, to appear doubled. Imagine Lincoln getting photobombed by himself. Weird, right? Now, why is this error such a big deal? Well, these mistakes are incredibly rare. Think about it. In a world of precision machinery, a double die error is like finding a typo in the Declaration of Independence. It just doesn't happen often, and when it does, collectors go absolutely nuts over it. Let me tell you a little story to make this hit home. A few years ago, I was visiting a flea market, just browsing through old trinkets. I came across a bucket labeled, Old Coins, 10 for $1. Naturally, I started digging. I didn't find a 1984 no-mint mark penny that day, but I did snag a 1955 wheat penny with a small error that turned out to be worth a couple $100. Not bad for a dime's investment, right? Moral of the story: always check the junk bins. You never know what you'll find. Why is this 1984 penny worth $1.5 million? It all comes down to supply and demand. There aren't many of these pennies out there, and when something's rare, collectors are willing to pay top dollar. Or, in this case, top million. Some of these coins are hiding in plain sight. They might be in your wallet, your piggy bank, or even that old jar of pennies you've been meaning to roll up for years. The best way to identify one? Grab a magnifying glass and look closely at the details, especially Lincoln's ear and the word Liberty. If you see any doubling, you might just have hit the jackpot. Condition matters. Coins in pristine condition, what collectors call mint state, are worth significantly more than ones that have been banged up over the years. So if you find one, handle it carefully and maybe even get it graded by a professional. All right, folks, we've reached the end of our coin-filled journey today. I hope you're feeling inspired to dig through your spare change and maybe even take a closer look at the coins you've always taken for granted. Who knows? That 1984 penny could be right under your nose, just waiting to change your life. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins that are worth way more than you'd expect, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on the next treasure hunting tip or coin collecting secret. And hey, if you've ever found a coin that turned out to be valuable, share your story in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. What's the most valuable thing sitting in your pocket right now? Your keys? That old receipt you meant to throw away? Or maybe, just maybe, a plain old penny? Yep, a penny. Not just any penny, though. A 1966 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Believe it or not, this humble little coin could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.6 million. And today, we're diving deep into the story behind this rare treasure. You might want to grab a magnifying glass and rummage through that jar of spare change by the end of this video. Trust me, it'll be worth it. Let's start with the basics. What makes this 1966 no mint mark penny so special? First off, let's talk about the no mint mark part. Typically, pennies minted in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark, so this might not seem like a big deal at first glance. But here's where it gets interesting. Coins from 1966 were produced in massive quantities, with billions of them flooding into circulation. However, the value of a coin isn't just about how many were made. It's about rarity, condition, and a little sprinkle of mystery. You've got a shiny 1966 penny, no mint mark, but it's not your average coin. There are a few rare specimens that have been graded in perfect condition. And when we say perfect, we mean flawless. No scratches, no wear, no smudges from all the hands it passed through. These pennies are known as MS 67 or higher in the coin grading world. So, what's the deal with the $1.6 million price tag? Well, collectors go absolutely nuts for coins like this. It's not just about owning a piece of history. It's about having the best piece of history. Imagine you're at a yard sale, and you find an original first edition of a classic book. Now imagine that book is signed by the author, has never been opened, and is in mint condition. That's what we're talking about here. A coin so rare and pristine that it becomes a holy grail for collectors. Now, let me tell you a little story. A few years back, I was visiting my uncle, who's a bit of a coin enthusiast. He's the kind of guy who never pays with exact change because he thinks every coin in his pocket might be worth a fortune. One day, he hands me a penny and says, "This could be your ticket to retirement." Of course, I laughed it off. But later that night, curiosity got the better of me, and I looked it up. Turns out, it wasn't the $1 million penny. But that moment sparked my interest in coin collecting. Now, every time I see a penny, I can't help but flip it over and check the date. So, how do you know if you've got one of these $1 million pennies sitting in your piggy bank? Look for no mint mark. If there's a D or an S, it's from Denver or San Francisco, still valuable, but not the jackpot. Inspect the condition. The shinier, the better. And if it looks like it's never been touched, you might want to get it professionally graded. Consider professional appraisal. If your coin looks promising, send it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. Conclusion: while the odds of finding a 1966 no mint mark penny worth $1.6 million are slim, it's not impossible. And even if you don't strike it rich, coin collecting is a fascinating hobby that connects us to history in a way nothing else can. Plus, who doesn't love the thrill of a treasure hunt? Now, before you go digging through your couch cushions, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and join our community of treasure hunters. I share tips, tricks, and stories about coins worth money and how you can find them. And hey, if you've got a cool coin story, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Thanks for watching and happy hunting. Who knows? Your next penny could be worth $1 million. You're digging through your change jar, looking for quarters to feed a parking meter, and bam, you stumble upon a penny worth $1.7 million. Yes, folks, today we're talking about the 1989 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, one of the most sought-after coins in recent history. It's like finding a golden ticket, but in copper form. So stick around because I'm breaking down how this tiny piece of metal became a millionaire's dream, how to spot one, and how you can potentially cash in big time. Also, I may or may not share how I almost threw away a valuable coin myself. Don't make my mistake. Alright, so let's get nerdy for a minute. The 1989 penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial series. But here's the kicker. Most 1989 pennies have a mint mark, a tiny little letter indicating where it was made. Either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But some sneaky little pennies slip through the system with no mint mark at all. And that, my friends, makes them rarer than a Wi-Fi signal in the middle of the woods. So, why is it worth so much? A combination of rarity, high-grade condition, and a little sprinkle of collector obsession. A few of these 1989 no-mint mark pennies were preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition. And collectors go wild for anything that's both rare and flawless. In fact, one of these coins sold at auction for $1.7 million. Let that sink in. That's a penny that could buy you a mansion with a swimming pool and maybe even a personal chef. Do I have one of these lying around? Let me walk you through it. First, grab a magnifying glass, because squinting isn't a strategy. Look at the date, 1989. Then, check under the date. If there's no tiny letter like a D or S, you might be holding something special. But here's the catch. It's not just about the missing mint mark. The condition of the coin matters. A beat-up penny from your junk drawer isn't gonna cut it. We're talking mint condition here. Basically, your penny needs to look like it's been chilling in a time capsule since 1989. Now, let me tell you about the time I almost cost myself a fortune. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my car because, crumbs, and I found an old penny. It was shiny, it was dated 1989, and I thought, cool, a penny. I literally tossed it into a jar without even looking. A month later, I saw an article about this exact coin, and my heart sank. I mean, I went straight to that jar like I was on a treasure hunt. It wasn't the one. Always check your change, because you never know what you're holding. Now, here's the juicy part. The market value of the 1989 no-mint mark penny can vary depending on its condition. While the $1.7 million price tag is for a flawless, top-tier example, even less than perfect ones can fetch thousands at auction. So, if you find one, don't just sell it to the first person who offers you 50 bucks. Get it authenticated by a professional grader, and then decide if you want to auction it or hold on to it for even more potential value. Think of it like playing the stock market, but with way more copper. So, there you have it, folks. The 1989 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Proof that sometimes the smallest things in life can make the biggest difference. Next time you're sorting through your change, take a closer look. Who knows? That penny you were about to toss in a vending machine could be your ticket to financial freedom. Before you dive into your change jar, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more coin tips, stories, and strategies coming your way to help you find the hidden gems in your pocket. And hey, if you've ever found a rare coin, or even if you're just starting to look, drop a comment below. I love hearing your stories.